What's up, guys? Here I am again with another Frostpunk video. This time it's a bit different, as I might say, or as I might look at it. It's very different, very different. Let's check. Let's check in some things. So this video is going to be a lot different from the other ones that I've done. I was angry. I gotta say, if my mic's acting a bit funny, please let me know as soon as possible. I was a bit upset about playing of the Endless and creating almost the perfect city, and my saved game disappeared. That shit pisses me off because that's a lot of work. So let's see if I can back into it and fix the city. This is not a mature city, I might say, but she's pretty okay for now. Right, so we're in. You'll notice with this city, I have something a bit different. About day 20, we have what I like to call, we have what I like to call a wall drill. Now, the wall drill plus some additional people. Plus, we're doing some scouting to find some more individuals and gaining some more resources. Uproot a tree. I think I want to send my guys that way. However, the narrow valley actually might be more promising. So, the question is, why is it that my city is in the state that it is in right now, and what are my secrets? Alright, so over here is my industrial complex. I've somehow managed to get everything within the same area, everything running properly. And yeah, it's updated to the best level possible. This is a bunkhouse, which isn't bad. It could be better. The steam level, or the level of heat, isn't that good either. Let's see if I can change that. Why, yes I can. But that's not the biggest thing. So when I had my original city, as you can see, I'm at level 2. I wanted to get all the way up to level 3 in heating. I don't know what the hell he's researching. Oh, at the moment I'm researching better storage. So the question was asked in the Discord, which one is better? The snow pit or the cemetery? Now the cemetery gives you a boost of dealing with discontent if people dies. And let me go back into it. And the snow pit, what it does, it increases the medical efficiency. However, even in that circumstance, sometimes discontent wins. But if you're using faith, everything becomes much easier. Fun fact, I will sit down for hours and record all of the content that you see, especially the moving images of people that you will see throughout the playthrough. I record all of these things and then I create lore videos out of them. So the fighting arena also is a buff against discontent. It will reduce it. Book of Laws, to an extent, if you go down the faith path like what I did here, then everything becomes a little bit easier for you. And this is the next law that I am going to sign. Later on, after I sign this law, what's gonna come next is this law. Why do I sign these particular laws? Now, this law gives me an additional health buff. This law is actually good at dealing with discontent. However, if I sign this up here, people gonna die. So I don't want to sign that. I want that to be like a last resort. I already have the faith keepers to deal with discontent. And if we look at the city so far, discontent isn't that bad. As a matter of fact, I used it during the last storm. However, the temperature is not suitable for living. And the coal production is not where it's supposed to be. Stuff like this happens all the time, especially when you're running a very big city. Now, what I really want is to build an automaton. Automatons are very good at dealing with resources and those kinds of problems. Now let's put this boy on the move, see what we find. So he finds one of the most valuable resources in the game, steam cores. Another thing you guys need to absolutely look out for, I think I want to send him home, is the storm itself. If you're not careful, the storm can actually kill the inhabitants of your city. What do I mean by that? Not kill the inhabitants of your city, but kill potential survivors. Oh, I can actually build houses now. Here am I talking to you guys while 31 people are freezing to death. What a horrible captain I am. Huh? But the problem is solved. Actually, at this stage within the development of my city, I actually went ahead and built all the houses necessary for everyone. But you see, because of the temperatures, there's a bit of a food problem. However, that's going to get solved soon too. Let's go back over here. Let's see if I got the resource I needed. This is the one that I need. And then I can look at probably building it tomorrow. If they're hungry today, that's okay. Remember when I said to you that there was a particular law I was going to sign? Here's the law I'm going to sign right now. But this law is vital to the development of my city. You're going to see the buff being used right now. There you go. I'm glad to hear that. I'm gonna throw another person in this building. It's a bit chilly. Medical posts are amazing. They have the ability to be at extremely warm temperatures even during storm. Now, as it relates to housing, I'm taking this in stages. So the idea is to build up. So why do people get sick in Frostpunk and why do they die? Cold. Wherever they're working, if it's too cold, they'll either leave the place of work or they'll get sick and die. As you can see, that's been happening here. And you can also set temperatures in certain areas to deal with this situation. Now, the scouts have actually reached a location. I want them to find out what's in the cracked ice. MTK. Forlong camp. So I need more people as well. Yeah, right. So this city is fairly well advanced in terms of resource gathering. So if you see a lot of hungry people, that's okay. Watch the temperature go up. As the temperature goes up, you will see the changes in terms of potential of people actually getting sick. Hold on, wait a second. You see, that to me doesn't make any sense. Oh, I see why now. Okay, go. We need one of those. So those facilities actually increase the amount of coal that we can collect. So this is the amount of food that's being produced. And you'll notice that it immediately rises because I'm using the soup system. So heating efficiency isn't that bad right now. Resource gathering is something I want to get at, because the faster they can gather resources, the better it is for me. So all the various buildings that I've constructed, this one gives me a boost in terms of productivity in certain areas. Now throw one in various areas because this building, it's called a what is it called? A shrine. The shrines basically give you a boost in terms of how productive your facility is. So I don't think you can see it with these buildings. I'm not seeing it here, but here we go. So the building insulation, that's one. Heat zone, that's two. Heater, that's one. And the weather. So this is an indicator of the factors that are actually influencing the working conditions within a particular structure. We're going to build at least two of these buildings. So their main objective is to find survivors. So I don't really care about resources at this point in time throughout my playthrough. I don't care about that because I have it at home. This buff also prevents me from encountering any difficulties. There you go. Just by doing that, the production of certain resources has increased. They're gonna go back home now with these additional people, and they're gonna be a part of the new city. So the next building that I'm going to go after in terms of the resource tree is this building more than likely. I'm also contemplating throwing an automaton in there, but my dude has all the resources necessary for full city reconstruction and development. So there I go again. I gotta prepare because the storm is a few days away and I'm gonna need more food. So now that I have actually... Ooh, this is not good. Something has happened. That's weird. That's freaking weird. It was good a while ago and now it's not good. Rotten roost is not supposed to affect supply of... What a crazy bug. That was a bug a while ago. Because rotten roots has nothing to do with coal. Anyways, so just by that, I have a buff in terms of the gathering of resources. But I'm not done there, guys. I'm not done there. So they're gonna get those survivors and come back. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the fighting arena. Now this is a very amazing building. I'm gonna show you guys why. So here we go. We plop down one there, and I want to make sure I get it in areas where there are a lot of people, but I also don't want to take up too much space for when people need to, you know, I need to put in some more houses and stuff. So these people shall repent. If hope falls, I can always get the hope back up with the churches. So now he's found the survivors we need, and he's going back to the city. There are more people in the surrounding area, but I can't get everybody. Catch them all, Pokemon. Now time for the automaton. What the automaton's gonna do is it's gonna replace the workforce inside of this building, freeing up more engineers that I can plop in other areas to do other much larger assignments. So he's come back with the additional residents and some more resources to house them. But because of the structures that I have within the city already, technically don't need the additional resources all that much. But we're gonna build a total of at least 2 or 3 automatons. Scout's not gonna go back out for the rest of the time until the storm has passed. What's the reason for this? Well, the main reason for this is because if scouts are found in the Frostland, they die during the storm. So let's talk about structures. So huts or tents are usually the first things that you'll build in a particular playthrough of Frostpunk. So when you just start in the game, you'll build tents. After tents, when you have enough resources, you can think about bunkhouses. After bunkhouses, you can then think about a house. Houses are much, much more capable of insulating your citizens against the cold because wherever the temperature falls below a certain level, so let's check out this building back here. It's chilly and cold, but it has a bit of insulation in it, but the weather outweighs that by at least 3. This one, you see that now?
It's getting colder.
So it's extremely cold in this facility, and if we go over here, let's not even talk about it. That's even worse. So temperature is very important in terms of the survival of your citizens. So like I said, I'm going to replace this with a automaton.
Go to work. Lord be with us as we labor
Resource
today.
storage units are also very, very important in terms of keeping. You can place them anywhere, by the way. I just like placing them there for a particular, what's the word? To make it look, I don't know, just for my own purposes. So, how is it that you get all the way up to Tech 3 and 4? Oh, I can't do that yet. So, for Tech 1, you just need 50 wood. For Tech 2, you need 75 wood and 25 steel. And for Tech 3, mechanical calculations, you need 100 wood and 50 steel. And for draft engines, difference engine. Since a different engine is the technology created by Charles Babbage that's used within the game's lore to actually save the day. So difference engines actually are more about efficiency, better calculations, and less resource usage. And this is the heat area in terms of the technology tree. So what I usually go for is I go for Tech 1, then I get this upgraded by day 3 or 4, and then after that, the next step is to get the beacon. However, in my recent playthroughs, I've said the beacon is the first thing I get. Whenever you're playing the Endless, this is the first thing you need to get. So, want to slow this down a bit for you guys. Show you a little thing or two. Whenever the game starts, sorry about that. That's more people. Right, so whenever the game starts, you see this particular building right here, the stockpiles. The area behind the stockpiles, there's a little road. In order to save resources, I build my first tech building or the workshop right on the same road. So I built at least 2 of them. These are the 3 beginning structures. The first things I built were these 3 buildings. After that, I then built a ring of houses around this. And I also created at least 2 to 3 of these gathering posts. Now, gathering posts provides your citizens with a bit of insulation. Not to worry about that discontent. We can deal with that. In addition to that, hunter houses or hunters' huts don't need to be located in a heated zone to work, as hunters only work during the night and the day and they hardly stay inside these structures. So, don't need to be kept warm. This is gonna hurt me a lot, but I gotta do it. Medical buildings are also one of the first things that I construct. Within the first tile, or within the first few weeks of my city, I built a medical post, and the medical post was right here, and then another one was on the outskirts, fitting in about this location. After that, I went into the tech tree and I started to research these 3 things. The first one I got was the thumper. No, sorry, the first one I got was the gathering. So gathering was the first thing I got. Then I got the thumper, After I got the thumper, I got the steelworks later on, and I just went to level 2 immediately in order to get the insulation to deal with the dynamic weather systems. After that, I then went on to grab the wall drill to prevent me from having to relocate my people to various locations to gather wood. And it also saves me time. Right.
Work is over for
So,
today.
oh, I was playing
There's
Homeworld for a
time
bit,
for
so
harvest.
kind of messing with
Time
my
for sleep.
control. So right now, these are some easy quests. As you can see, houses are warmer than bunkhouses, and bunkhouses are warmer than tents. What happens when I put the generator in overdrive and it's minus 60? Let's check it out. That was a mistake, guys. I'm so sorry. But I'm gonna have to live with this for a little bit. So, when I just started playing Frostpunk, like the very first day, the first mistake I made was to keep the generator in overdrive. I kept the thing in overdrive and it blew up. And I lost a lot of people. Right now, I don't really care if people get sick. But why is this so? When you're playing Frostpunk, there's a particular law. If I'm loud or if I'm too loud or anything, just let me know. When you're playing Frostpunk, there's a particular law that you want to sign, and it goes along with a particular building. So let's go to the medical side of things. So if you don't sign radical treatment within the first 3 to 5 days, a lot of people are going to die. And you're going to ask yourself the question, why are so many people dying? Because they don't have the technology or the understanding of how to treat certain illnesses. And so they're just kept in beds, and the frostbite and anything else eventually infects them, and the wounds become so infected that they die. So, what we usually do is we sign the radical treatment law. After that, we go, don't, the other one in terms of extra rations does not work for this. Extra rations, it's more taxing on you. Although signing the overcrowding gives you discontent, it takes away the necessity for you to actually construct an additional medical post. So just by signing this law, it can save you a lot of resources. So this saves you the fact in terms of human resources, and this one, the overcrowding, saves you in terms of needing to get another medical post. And we all know how much those buildings cost in terms of resources. Now, later on, a quest might come up if you have too many sick people asking you to construct the care house. Now, the care house is another way of expanding how much people you can accommodate or individuals waiting to be healed. After that, what's next? What's the next step we do as a young captain just getting into this thing? If if we are capable of actually taking this thing to the next level, or let's say for example, we somehow manage to build a particular building that I'm going to get into very soon, we sign the prosthetics law. So, how is it that the prosthetics law and the health section of the Book of Laws connects over to the tech tree? Let's get into it. In the exploration and industry section, we have at level 2 the factory. Now, the factory does a number of things. It allows you to build prosthetics, land dreadnoughts, and upgrade them. And these are some of the upgrades that you can get via the workshop. And so this combined with the Book of Law thing over here, the signing the prosthetics law actually reduces the chances of you having to deal with too many people getting crippled. Because when people get crippled, they stop working. What's going on here? Oh, they need somewhere to sleep. Let me deal with that quickly. So as I'm saying, the prosthetics law will save you a lot of manpower. So I can easily deal with the inhabitants of the city. Once this the heat, so here are the two things you need to look at: healthcare, heat, and human resources.
Wrap up well. The frost is here.
If I open this, it's gonna tell me that the storm is coming and discontent is gonna rise and I'm gonna have to use my buff. So let me just start using my buff while I have the chance to. Um, what's the next thing we want to sign here? No, I don't want to build a public house yet. But uh, what is it that might be of interest? Temple, field kitchens. Field kitchens work, but they don't work at the same time.
Listen, everyone.
The nice
A
thing
new
about
law is
faith
signed.
buildings is that they don't need people to be in them. Alright, so I got some more
A new workday
resources.
starts in the name of God.
I think I want to build one more house on the outskirts here. But there's something blocking me there, so... Oh, not enough resources. Alright, let's go. This should give me the ability to do what I wanted to do originally. And we're good now. Huh, Blood Mage is on. There we go. Now just 9 people sick and 9 people needing prosthetics. Okay, so I can turn that off and deal with the problem in terms of coal. And that's about it. I'll be right back, guys. Give me a few minutes. Let's get into it. Yes.
Time
I'm just
to
gonna
rest.
freeze everything over.
Remember those who work overtime in your
I'm
prayers.
so tired, it's not funny. But that don't matter. Let's see what I'm looking at here. Now, the lore kind of... Alright, if you have played Frostpunk's original, if you have played the scenario, make a new home scenario, you kinda have a bit of experience in dealing with the storm. Because the new home scenario teaches you how to handle the deep freeze if it gets really bad. I am not a fable. Guess that increased hope. Hold on, this is weird. This is not good. Okay, it's working again. Alrighty, I have a building to construct that I haven't built yet, and if I don't, I'm gonna be in a lot of trouble. Here we go. Church. The High Church. Other bits of technology I'm also gonna look at building my perfect city is increased insulation. Alright, temple constructed that sends hope up again. See these buildings, they have some special buffs and stuffs associated with them. And for the second night, which is the last night that the hunters are gonna go out, we're gonna do something special.
Go to work. Lord, be with us as we labor today.
Got enough steam cores to deal with that. That's gonna affect heating in a way too. How do I deal with this? A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Let's check out how far the heating level goes. And it extends pretty far. Do I have 2 steam cores in the same air or something? I have a feeling I do. What? Gotta check that out. This thing's radius is massive. Alright. What that means is I'm gonna build another gathering post. Can't do that. Right. So the gathering post also helps out in dealing with a lot of the problems associated with running large cities. Oh, I broke the promise. You know they're sad. But I don't give a shit. I've got a solution to all of these problems. Actually, I do need to give a shit. Huh? A big shit. There's just one error, and that's the end of the city.
New law in the city.
I probably made an error somewhere, but no, I don't care. Natural hazards are some of the most scarce things that I can actually say. Oh my god, no, I just realized I didn't put anybody in this building. Natural hazards are some of these most scarce things that you can encounter in Frostpunk. They will show up today and disappear tomorrow. To make sure this building is heated as well. And let's look at will cost 20% wood. Yes, I think I like that idea. That way I can build more automatons for less. I should have done that in the last playthrough, but I never thought about it.
Bundle up. It's getting colder.
Alright, as the temperature decreases, we are still able to maintain a solid function. As you can see, ooh, this is freezing, bruh. It has some insulation. All buildings have a level of insulation, but if it's freezing, they will die. Let's see if we can find a right. So cold, moderate risk of getting ill. Then you have high risk of getting ill, very high risk of getting ill, small risk of requiring an amputee. So depending on the work area, if it's too cold, they can die or get sick. And these guys have brought in enough resources to handle the deep freeze. However, I'm not really worried about the cold weather at the moment. My biggest concern is, be surprised when I actually say it. Alright, okay. Gotta find out how that person died. Need to find out. Okay, sir, man has thrown himself into the A man threw himself into the generator. His widow is here. She said she's looking for an answer, trying to make sense of it. Religious reforms, the priest say that he wanted to show his devotion. I didn't mean to kill you, my friend. You didn't have to kill yourself to serve me. But okay. That's why I wasn't getting any resources out of that. Problem solved.
Time to rest.
Alright, if I got the automaton I needed, then
in your prayers.
I don't need to worry. I can build as many houses as I want now. So let's check out the housing situation. By the way, anybody dying is a problem for me. Also know that if they are not housed properly, they can get sick as well. See? They just got sick because of that little thing I did. This area is very cold. Nobody should be working there at this time. Hope they're not sleeping around the generator, you know, because I'd be mad if they were.
A new workday starts in the name of God.
I'm gonna look at healthcare installation and some other things. I'll probably build another one of these. I think I can actually get more scouts. We'll just keep going in terms of the resources. Carry on with the project. Look, I have so many engineers in this city, I really don't care. Let's check that. Oh! Very interesting. Alright, this is a sign that I need to take advantage of a particular opportunity. My next set of things to build is the larger resource collection facility. Something I should have done long ago and far away. Let's see if it's available. Alright, so this facility allows me to keep even more resources. What does that mean for me? That basically means that, God forbid, but if situations get really sticky, I should be able to actually manage well beyond. I haven't actually changed, if you notice. I haven't used the overdrive because I don't need to. We are all just fine. You're gonna see some more people getting sick. I'm gonna pause the game and I'm gonna activate this thing. Not yet, just give it a few more moments. Alright. So once this becomes active, I'm going to implement all of my capabilities and all of the actions that I can use.
Work shift begins. May the Lord save all workers.
Okay, this is gonna be a real freaking fight. Oh my god, this is so messed up. Okay. That's alright. I totally know how I'm going to deal with this. Unfinished construction. Frozen lake, Mace Rock. Let's go for the ride. Sometimes this game will throw things at you that you least expect, but it's how you deal with it that matters. That's all that matters. Right, and I said I was gonna build a storage system for food. I think I should build something that will keep, to finish building the automaton. I'm gonna need the automaton to do some work for me. Alright, let's see if that actually did nothing. We just need to keep this shit going for a little bit longer. Fine. There are 11 people who are using prosthetics. Let's build at least 30 of them. I think early on I said in my preview that let's play of this is that prosthetics deal with a lot of the situation with people getting ill and losing the ability to walk. Exploration, automaton integration, that should also help out as well.
Time
This
to
is
rest.
that.
Remember those who work overtime in your prayers.
This one sick person. Oh wow, that actually worked out well for me. Alright, now that we have that, won't ever have to worry about
Hear me.
soup ever
New
again.
law in the city.
So they might be a bit upset about the food. Alright, so steel. Okay. Alright, round rock. Oh, frozen lake seems more promising. And the third scout. I'm working on that now. And cold. This does not look good. Best believe, guys, I am working on everything possible to make sure the city gets better. Heating. Okay, so I need to get to that level right away.
Go to work. Lord be with us as we labor today.
Are you telling me that we ran out of coal for you to pick at? Like, oh, it's being used for something else. Okay. Alright, let me look around here and see. We're gonna have to throw people at it for a little bit. It's not something I like doing, but that's probably the best way I see of actually preventing full-on destruction. So, threw some people at it over here, and that kind of pushed it back a little. I'll soon give that person somewhere to live. Keep working, we'll find a steam core later. Alright, so 2 more people are able to live somewhere. Prosthetics. I don't need any more prosthetics for now.
Time to rest. Remember those who work overtime.
We're cutting it real close, guys. Right. Let's see how good we can get with this. Food situation ain't that bad. Come on. It's just 3 people need a house. 3 people have just gotten a house. Alright. Wow, this is difficult. Tell me what you got. Storm, obelisk. I don't like this running around. I need to find resources and fast, and I need a steam core. Situation is not that bad. Empty campsite. Let's hope there is a steam core nearby. That empty campsite. Ooh. As you can see, resources are really getting low right now. And this is where the generator shift system comes into effect.
It's getting colder.
So what I'll do is I'll reduce the temp in order to deal with the loss of full power. That allows us to kind of work on a solution to the problem while then that's the first thing we're gonna go after, efficiency. So once that's done, we should be able to survive any godforsaken thing they could throw against us. I don't want to use the triage. I don't think anyone else should die. The next thing that we're gonna sign is this? House of Healing. But I'm not ready for that particular building yet. Yeah, let me know. Release my words need no defending. I want to be a passive and kind leader. Alright, let's see if we got there. And I think we can chance it and turn this girl up a little bit. Okay, we can't turn her up a little bit. Let's keep her at the level she's at right now.
Today's labor is done.
Shit,
Thank the Lord.
yeah, Steam Core, but I can't find any. Right, so I made a mention about something called supply trains. Supply trains are a means of gathering large amounts of resources, traveling from one place to the next. Oh god, I'm tired.
Work begins. May the Lord save all workers from harm.
And this right here is a glacier. Where is it gone? It's an old river and it's heading that direction. Let's see if we can work a little magic and get rid of this content completely. Oh, look at me working my magic. No more discontent. Let's look at that. Shit. Another Hulk sighted, but I can't gather them. I probably might use a Serenity gameplay to gather all of these Hulks or husks. I really don't care about them. When we approached the sleds, people started coming out. They say that they became stuck when their crawler pushed a bit too hard, burst into flames. They used up all their supplies. So these supply trains are pulled by a crawler. Intriguing. Carry them back to the city. And no, another Hulk has been sighted. We have another thing that we need to do. Right. See that? That means that we need to just upgrade all these food buildings into those type. Alright, it's time for us to call it quits. That automaton that was standing there should have gone back to work.
Go to work. Lord be with us as we labor today.
So we want to put efficiency on every goddamn thing we have. Okay. So my dudes have not found anything as yet. This is technically terrible. Shut down the wall drill. Oh, I really don't care. All these things I don't care about. Yeah, we want to put the automaton integration up to the highest level possible. After that, we can't afford that. Look, if people need prosthetics, I've got lots of them.
Work is over for today.
Let's watch this. Alright, we can pull off a switch up. There you go, there you have it. That's how you actually deal with a situation where they throw something at you. Now, I'm getting ready for when things go back to normal. So when things go back to normal, I want to be able to sustain more coal than ever. So I can probably remove these guys from there. That's gonna be a bit of a difficult situation. Oh my god, which one is closer? I hope to god I find some steam cores over there. I want to build 2 more automatons once I get back to the city. Good, thanks for bringing those back. No, you can't go anywhere. This is funny. I cannot send anybody anywhere at the moment. So this should actually does nothing. Roger that.
Wrap up well. The frost is here.
Alright, we'll just run with that for now.
A new workday starts in the name of God.
What this one? This one looks different. Oh, right. Alright, 1, 2. Testing shit out. See how best this will work for us. I'll soon look at you, my friend. To you, my friend. Well, we have to make a few
Work is over for today.
accommodations.
There's time for harvest and time for sleep.
We have so many people, there must be something else they can do if you reach the point where you technically don't need. Yeah. Look, I want people in these things. Right, so I just need to know that that works. Then I can build another one over here. Just need to make sure I don't touch the place where the dead people is at. Because if it does, then we gonna have a big ass problem. Alright. Motherfuckers tricked me, so I gotta go back home now. Thought I'd gotten what I wanted, but I guess it was over here with this uprooted sled. That's okay, I'll have more scouts in the next round. You're gonna tell me that the storm is coming? Watch the discontent kill my... It didn't. It seems I was wrong. Alright, so what else can we do to deal with this issue? Housing redesign would be the next thing. Got 3 scouts awaiting orders. Okay. How do we counter that? We don't. We let it do what it wants to do.
A new workday starts.
Oh
in the
my
name of
god. Watch this. See that? What that's gonna do for me now is I'm gonna get so much coal. I didn't have to fill these buildings up. Next thing that I'm gonna do to give me an additional buff is to build a couple of these within the area. Just building those buildings alone. Deal with a lot of the issues that I have. So we're producing far more than we're consuming. Efficiency, you see all of these buildings. Gold pile 000. Let's find out where that building is. Oh, these cold piles are randomly generated by the thumpers, but I never used the cold piles in front of them. This guy is playing with life and running from the...
Work is over for today. There's time for harvest.
This actually started out as a let's play, but and talking about stuff, but oh, I got so tired about it, and I just decided that nah, I'm not gonna do that today. I need a steam core for this. That automaton is gonna stay there until I get a... No, it's not. It's gonna go to work. So before the storm, it gets a little warmer, and we're getting to the point that we need to get to in terms of gathering up resources. Let's take a look and see what's going on here. You guys are gonna have to be on overtime. So sorry. He's gonna ask me something and I'm gonna tell him nope. We need to get enough coal so that when the thing comes in, it doesn't affect us in any way. Let's get to the next level. Don't have to worry about redesign for houses. Temple has changed people to mend their ways. Let's take one last look outside. They need to change that 11-bit studios. Storm can't be spawning over the same place all the time. Doesn't make it realistic. Alright, let's see this. What is this? Day 36. Let's see how cold it...
It's getting colder.
Yeah, this is the big one. Alright, let's turn her on for a bit. Oh, let's leave her off. I can deal with anybody that gets sick right about now. I just send them right back to work. That might be too much. Healthcare installation is what I'm probably gonna look at. First, I gotta get that. Alright. Feed. I just need to know where the bodies are coming from.
Today's labor is done. Thank the Lord.
I think we can handle that. And food supply is running a bit low. Let's put my girl on double time. Yeah, this shit just got a little too hard for me right now. Ah! You look at that. Actually won. Won the war on snow. Why am my channel low? You have to keep working. We need to have a certain amount of resources. So my man cleans the area over there. But you get working. That should be doing their jobs. House insulation. And after this, I think we have practically accomplished our mission
Thank
there.
the Lord.
Objective. And now crippled people. And to deal with the situation, just in case, give it about 5 minutes. Just need that buff. Time to be a marathon runner. So this is how we do it. As long as I don't find any people, I can go to multiple sites.
Go to work. Lord be with us.
It doesn't
as we
bother me
labor today.
one freaking bit. There were some people working in these areas. I hope I took them out. There should be no civilians working in these areas. Perfect. Alright. So the treacherous cold won't actually affect our plans.
Time to rest. Remember those who work overtime
Let's
in
check.
your friends.
Okay, it stays out of the way of the cemetery. So, healthcare. Right, it's time to sign that law. Alright. More medical buffs.
A new law has passed.
Like I said, guys, the faith mechanic is way more powerful than anything else. Okay. Rocky Spear. Snow Dunes. There's nobody in there. Rock. Let's keep going. See how far we can get.
A new work is started in the name of God.
Good resources. I want to know what happened now. I want to know. I died from lack of treatment again. And she's free for child. On day 39, one of our people died. Okay, fine. I'm going to try.
Work is over for today. There's time for harvest and time for sleep. Work shift begins. May the Lord save all workers from harm. New law! A new law has passed. Time to rest. Remember those who work overtime in your prayers. Wrap up well. The frost is here. Work shift begins. May the Lord save all workers from harm.
Excuse me.
Bundle up. It's getting colder. A new workday starts in the name of God. Time to rest. Remember those who work overtime in your prayers. Bundle up. It's getting colder. A new workday starts in the name of God. Today's labor is done. Thank the Lord. Brace yourselves. Cold is coming. A new workday starts in the name of God. over for today. There's time for harvest and time for sleep. Brace yourselves, cold is coming. Go to work. Lord, be with us as we labor today. Work is over for today. There's time for harvest and time for sleep. A new workday starts in the name of God. Today's labor is done. Thank the Lord.
Yep, this is the thing I've been preparing for,
Workday starts in the name of
but
God.
won't do anything to me. I'll probably send somebody else to come and deal with that. left, right, and center. Where am I gonna put all these people?
Time to rest. Remember those who work overtime in your prayers.
Notice how even though I have a bit of a deficit with them in terms of resources, it has not affected the city. We planned for this. Alright, so we're good. Bread and games.
Go to work. Lord be with us as we labor today.
Yep, at minus 60, everything gets super hot if I decide to do what I want to do. Ooh, more people. Alright. Let's go to heating and do that. See where it lands our girl. Give us the little boost we need to get the heat level to where we need to
Today's
be.
labor is done. Thank you,
Take the
Lord.
resources. You go there. I think that'll be the end of our journeys for this one. How many people are in this city? Let's check. Oh wow, just 400? Let's see what it requires. Let's take it back home.
Bundle up. It's getting colder. Work safely begins. May the Lord save all workers from harm.
Made our souls rest in peace. Let's go home. We got what we wanted.
Today's labor is done. Thank you, Lord.
Alright. 2, 3. Oh, we got 4 days. Okay. Let's find out how long this coal can last for. 4 days. And how long does this stupid thing last for? 3 days. First flying hunter. Okay. Gonna run the risk. Just this once. This is totally not fair. Alright, one more. Just one more. I think that's it. Ooh, that's another resources. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. It's taking him 2 days to get there. How long is it gonna take? 2 hours. Huh. Okay. Let's go home.
A new workday starts in the name of God.
You can take the steam core, fine. Do whatever you want with it. Don't care. God. Alright. What am I gonna do now? Okay. This is the best I can do. And for your discontent, you're gonna take some penance. Good.
Time to rest. Remember those who work overtime in your prayers.
Right. That should be it. Let's check the heating zones. Let's drop in our final set of people for now. They really are trying to take me out. It's gonna take a long time before the coal in this city runs out. The more storage you have is the less likely
It's getting colder.
you're gonna feel the effects of it.
Lord, be with us as we labor today.
Best believe me, when this is over, the amount of coal that I have going on, poof, there's nothing else that can affect me, man. I'm telling you. 1,000 wood, 1,000 steel,
Time to rest.
automatons for every situation. Let's see how far the heat range extends. Alright, you gotta move. I have to put you somewhere else. I don't think anyone was living there, but I don't want to chance that. Alright, what do you think I'm gonna do now? Put one of these down in here. That way we have a larger reach. That can hold this content down in almost all areas. Okay. Let's check out insulation. House redesign. Don't care about that. Resources. Okay, I've maxed that out. Exploration. Automaton redesign. Let's look at that.
Wrap up well. The frost is here. A new workday starts in the name of God. There's time for harvest and time for sleep.
Yeah, it's finally getting to me. So long we could have lasted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Brace yourselves, cold is coming.
Ooh.
Work shift begins. May the Lord save all workers from harm. Time to rest. Remember those who work overtime in your prayers. Go to work. Lord, be with us as we labor today. Today's labor is done. Thank you, Lord. Remember those who work overtime for your praise. Worship begins. May the Lord save all workers from harm. Work is over for today. There's time for harvest and time for sleep.
Damn, the summer heat is hot. I'm not envy of the guys in my city, but whew, it's damn hot. Perfect. A relic. A pass. Here's another one. They're gonna start talking.
Bundle up. It's getting colder.
Alright, so I gotta time this right and fight back. God, this thing is so dangerous.
A new workday starts in the name of God.
Bad food. And that is the layout of my city. Sorry. Oh, so this is how she looks. Don't remember the name of this one, but that is how it currently looks. So what you're looking at right now, section to the bottom half of the screen is the industrial district. All of this is industry. And this is the relic section. And this other area is residential. And the fighting arena and the cemetery is right there. Let's check the heating. So this is what it looks like at minus 60. And if I was supposed to be a crazy man, I could turn the heat up and you'll enjoy what you see. It gets even warmer. However, as you can see, not that warm. So, to cap off this video, because I have to take a break and do some other things, I'm going to explain every single tip as to how to get to where I am.
Today's labor is done.
Right, one last thing to do before I really sign off is to get this baby all the way up to scratch. So, how did I make it? How did I make such a massive city? Well, I wouldn't say it's massive, I built bigger. Here is the trick to doing it. Heat is one of the most important resources in the game. Not in the sense of a physical thing that you control, but it is a resource nonetheless that is vital to the survival of your civilization. Where people live must be heated. So, as you can see, because of the insulation buff gained throughout the Book of Laws that you get after you research other technologies, I am now able to keep all of my residences nice and warm even when the temperature drops to minus 80. However, there are a few other buildings that technically still don't fit that criteria. But in addition to that, 11-bit Studios did something else which is cool. They gave you an idea as to, weather conditions and how your city stacks up to it. So far, my city is practically doing well. So currently the conditions inside of the facilities is at least 7 degrees warmer than outside compared to, or at least 8 degrees warmer compared to outside, the difference being 2. and it's comfortable. It's what people would love to live in. That's a condition that people want to be in. Comfortable means nobody's gonna get sick, nobody's gonna get ill. That's one of the tips. You have to monitor heat and how it is used within the city. The generator itself changes as you add upgrades to it, and it gets a lot more power and other features. And all this is done through researching the Book of Laws. The first thing I usually get when I start my city is this greater generator range. Then after that, I go after generator power upgrade. After I do that, I go after the beacon, but it's usually in this way: beacon, generator reach upgrade, heating, gathering, cold thumper, steel, level 1. Oh, let me just rephrase that for you so you understand it clear. Research beacon, research level 1, gathering, then cold thumper, then steel production, and wall drill. After that is done, the next thing I quickly do is I build an entire ring of houses around the main area, covering the 80 people that are homeless within the city. And the first law that I actually sign within the adaptation is the child labor law in safe jobs. After that, the city is basically on its way to developing further. Once those basic life necessities are constructed and researched and implemented by via the system setup, my next and final move is to then heat up the entire area that I know people will be living in, and I also make sure I head for the faith mechanic. Once I get faith, my city is virtually invulnerable to full discontent, as faith is one of the most strongest ways of dealing with discontent, as it has less of a violent approach towards things in certain ways and more of a passive religious belief system, which is stronger. Once those things are done, and I get my 2 churches centered around my civilians, I quickly go up the tree and straight until I reach the Faith Keepers. There, I use the Faith Keepers to prevent discontent from destroying my city within the first storm, and after, in addition to that, during the initial first stages, I also build at least 1 or 2 of the basic Hunter's Hut, which are officially now upgraded to the more advanced level, as you can see here, in addition to a wall drill being behind it. And I usually go after the cemetery law in order to deal with any form of issues that might be associated with the snow pit that has to remain cool. There's something amazing about burying people 6 feet under that makes it much safer. Then I also look at the cultivation and gathering of resources to an extent to prevent any form of resource natural hazard from damaging my city. He's not doing anything, so let's put him to work somewhere so I can build a particular facility there. In addition to that, the cookhouse is also maintained at a relatively fine level. You're going to see the temperatures fall even further. This one is going straight to 90. And even as the temperature falls to 90, because of the buffs and the insulation being combined together, there's no way that the temperature is actually going to affect me until it fully passes 100 minus 100 degrees Celsius.
May the Lord save all workers.
Look at that. As soon as the work shift starts, you see the buildings still having that strength in terms of insulation and heat retention regardless of the temperature. Now let's have a look at why that is so. As you can see, there's a buff to it. We have 3 from the heaters, 4 from the heat zone, and 2 from building industrialization. So if we put all of those together, that is about 6 plus 3, that's 9. The difference being a positive 2 degrees. That extends to a lot of the other buildings. Some of them might be a bit higher, or some of them might also be within the same general focus. Now, this building has an extended buff, building insulation, cookhouse insulation technology. So we're looking at 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9, most of it being a 2-degree difference. But let's check out this beast. Now this one, as I said, is the most powerful building in the game, the infirmary. So we have about 3, that's 4, that's 5, that's 9. And then we have an additional 2, that's 11. So that difference within 4 degrees. This building is capable of surviving temperatures way below average and still being able to maintain enough to prevent people from dying. That's how important the infirmary is. And after I reach a certain level, I get rid of all of my healing posts and I build one of this building. Next on the list of buildings to check out. This is a special building provided by Faith, the House of Healing. It benefits from the same thing, but might be a bit different. Let's check it. 3, 4, 5, 9. So it has a 4 degree in a positive difference in relation to the negative 7 degrees on the outside, thus preventing the ill from really suffering. Now this buff seems to extend to all buildings. Right? All health buildings have this bonus now. It's telling me the promise has been fulfilled, but I already made up my mind to do that. Back to the heating. So you want to look and see how is it that the heating mechanic works within your city. Where is it that the temperature actually stays the same? Where is it that the temperature doesn't? Where is it that people can get sick? So temperature is very important. Areas that must be heated, living areas and working areas. Where is it that you don't need to heat certain buildings? Now let's go over to the area near the cemetery. Notice all of these buildings are freezing. Even though it has an internal temperature of insulation of plus 3 degrees, the difference is a minus 4 degrees. And this extends to this building as well. It has a difference of minus 3 degrees. And we can go in and look at it and find out why. The main reason is because of the type of building that we're using. This building is being powered by an automaton. Automatons can work in freezing conditions and they work non-stop for 24 hours, 48 hours, or as many hours as you need them to work for every week. I've covered how these machines work in another video. However, that is the reason why certain buildings can actually run without heat, and I've now reduced or gotten rid of the heat bonus because no one is working there that is a human being. Another thing to note, to be aware of, is that anybody who is not housed does not benefit from any of the facilities within the city, whether it be from the public house or the fighting arenas that surround the city, and the various churches and the Faith Keeper building. Looks like there's a fight going on somewhere. Let's see if we can tune in. So these fighting arenas actually also add a buff to reduce discontent. However, the building is still relatively chilly or almost freezing. And that is a covering of how the heat system works. Also, individuals have their own heat zone of influence, showing their internal temperatures as they walk throughout the city in extremely cold areas. but the people living in the Frostland have somehow managed to find a way to adapt to these frigid, dangerous conditions. Let's move on to something else of way more importance, as I'm covering the last areas in relation to game mechanics and understanding for a potential new player. On the top of the screen is the temperature, as you can see, and the amount of resources my city currently has. Based on the condition of your city, you'll be able to negate certain conditions in relation to the acquiring and gathering of resources. This is only in relation to the endless scenario. If you can play the endless, then extreme and any other scenario in the game is completely easy. So, let's get to it. Over the years, the resources, or as I like to call it, the coal usage has remained the same. However, the supply of coal to an extent has risen over 6,000 in one extent and then reverted back to approximately 4,900 to 5,000. Tree resource to an extent also has had a rapid decline and incline. Food. Now, in the early beginning stages, the raw food has dropped and then it has climbed all the way back up. In terms of food rations, though, food rations have climbed and fell. But food rations aren't something that you need to worry about once you've signed the soup law. Healthcare. Over the years, we have seen a drastic increase in people being healed due to the use of certain buildings and a decrease in sick people. Housing. As you can see, almost all of the housing facilities are in livable conditions. Only a small percentage of the inhabitants are living in care houses. And because of the buff, these conditions are extremely comfortable. I would want to live there. Status, temperature, as you can see, majority of the inhabitants are pretty fine. But the most important resource, coal, is somehow still working strong into the next few days. Resource management can be checked out at this point in relation to the economy to determine how it is that your city is doing and whether or not any changes might need to have been made. Now, let's look at something else that is even more intriguing. You'll notice that there are a couple of hard coal deposits surrounding the city, of which none of them have actually been used, due to the harnessing of raw materials straight from the earth by the thumpers. Now, this resource of coal from the thumpers has to be managed extremely carefully, as the captain has to realize whether or not he is capable of running so many of them. That's where manpower comes in and automatons. Here's an automaton moving around, but this one works for the steel mill, or the steel works. Most of the other buildings are powered by men, however they are on break for tonight. The storm is fast approaching, however the city is ready and prepared for it. If necessary be, I can sign or I can implement a particular system mechanism within the game, called the extended work shift. This is very vital for the beginning stages of the city, and it prevents you from incurring a situation of a lack of resources. It, along with the child labor law, can save you a lot of trouble when initially starting out in the endless scenario. Cities of this size are very complicated, complex, and hard to construct. However, with full understanding of game mechanics, you can be a master builder like me and many other players of Frostpunk. Now, let's look at some other things relating to game buffs. Along the line of the tech tree, you'll find various items that will provide a large level of efficiency and regulation of resources within your playthrough. These various levels of efficiency and regulation can increase coal consumption and decrease it, depending on how you plan it. Another important thing to also research when you have the time to is the overdrive couplings, as this gives the generator a buff against its overdrive mechanism, preventing it from exploding due to too much stress and duress. On to more lifelike and lifeline fixtures, there are other elements that the captain might also want to look into. A couple of these elements are hunting, health, housing, and insulation. All of these mechanics can be found within the tech tree and serve various purposes to prevent the destruction of one city and or banishing of captain from said city. In an event that you are unable to provide enough resources relating to coal, you will see to the right hand side of the tech tree or to the far right, extending past the coal thumper research, the coal mining facility, and the charcoal kiln. In the event that you are lacking steam cores and are more focused on automatons, it is more likely in your interest to use the coal kiln in combination with the wall drill. An upgrade to the wall drill could sometimes or somehow prevent inevitable loss of resources. In the event that you do not need automatons and have enough steam cores, the coal mining facility is your best friend. Going on further to other things in Lifeline fixes. One of the most important things for new players to recognize is that the very first thing you need to do is turn on the generator. If the generator is left off, you have the potential of realizing that your entire city will die, as the temperatures drastically fall by at least 2 to 3 degrees every couple of days, and to an extent calculating it weeks and months. So far, the city has somehow able to survive everything that has been thrown at it, due to the wittiness and understanding of how to build a proper city by the captain. There are a couple other aesthetics and beautifying buildings that you can find in the public section of the building mechanics. And these various buildings give you certain buffs and access to certain pieces of technology, if implemented properly. The last and most important thing you might also want to look at is gathering relics. However, be warned that the acquisition of these relics can sometimes result in the death of your scouts if enough resources for safe extraction are not provided. Well, these are some lifeline understandings and fixes as how to play the endless scenario, and I'll be available for any form of information in the chat or on Discord at any given time. This is just saying, Lore, thank you for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day.